Here we go. Welcome back to another edition of the first half in the Blister Room. I got it right this time. This week I am got my friend Dan to help me out this week. I think Gary was busy, Sam's busy, so Dan is stepping up to the plate, and we're going to chat Corinthians plus a lot more, aren't we?
We are indeed. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we as I always say, it's mainly based around Corinthians because this is what got me, Dan, and some of the other lads all together. But we do talk about other things. Hopefully, by the time this episode comes out, we would have had a few more episodes where we've talked about how to display them, cards. So people don't always talk about the card side of it. We're going to be talking about like Subutio and other collectibles that were out exactly the same time that these were out. So yeah, there's been plenty we're going to talk about, and we're going to try and pick different topics every week just to keep it fun and engaging and just something else. Another rabbit hole for a lot of people to go down, sadly. So yeah, me and Dan tonight, and we are going to open it up because it's always quite nice to say, what have you been up to, and what have you been up to, and have you got anything new through the post lately, Dan?
Well, it has slowed down a bit since the summer, I will admit that. But I suppose I'm being a bit more selective. I have shifted quite a lot of stuff that was nice stuff, but it was just sitting in my house, not really being displayed. So I'd rather it go somewhere where people are going to enjoy it. But I have picked up quite a few little things. So obviously just before the end of the summer, I started picking up these, which I remember seeing in my... seeing them in my in cash and carry near where I lived, and they were like £1 at the time, which is sickening now about how much they were. So I've been picking up that. Darren Courtney, I love picking up all his key rings and stuff. Yeah. Every time he gets something out, I just go, right, I'm buying it, and it's just ridiculous how much I've got of his.
What have you got so far? Because I see he's done coasters. What else has he done?
I've got coasters, I've got air fresheners that will never be used as an air freshener, but it's there. Some more badges as well.
Yeah.
And I saw on his package a stamp, which means he's going to do a stamp at some point, which will be a game changer, because I'll just mark all my books with a Corinthian stamp. So
imagine doing your because you're a teacher, imagine doing your schoolwork and marking it and giving it a Bogard stamp.
100%, and they'll say, "Sir, what does this stand for?" And I say, "You don't need to worry about that.
You don't need to worry. If you get a Bogard, that means you're an A or whatever it is, a B that they class it in there. And if you get the Beckham that doesn't look like a Beckham, that means it's an F." Yeah, mate,
absolutely.
It's great that people are still doing fun stuff like that though, because it's reinvigorating. It's something new to collect from the range. Because one of the hardest bits, which I know you've got into like collecting repaints as well. One of the hardest bits is there's nothing new to collect now. I mean, all the figures are out there. We do go down different rabbit holes, but there's nothing new to collect. So when someone like, was it Darren Courtney, I think he's called, when he brings out these new faceless ones that he's doing, it's brilliant. And I'll see if Tim, before we go any further, I'll see if Tim can put a little link, well, not a link so much, but the because I don't know what it was called, at faceless something, innit?
I can't remember top of my head. I can't remember.
He's on Instagram. We'll put his handle on here. Tim can put it up, and then people can go and follow that. But yeah, they are cool, aren't they?
Oh, they're brilliant. I love them, and it's nice because, like you said, it's something different as well, and it's another new avenue. But yeah, it's been good, really. I mean, I've only got a few more bits. I did a video on this before, so I won't dwell on it. But this is still like a prized possession of mine, the Corinthian catalogue of '96. So I mean, it's just something incredible. Seeing all the figures that they didn't release as well is just something special, really.
Do you know the backstory of that? Was that widely available to everyone, or was that just for, like, say, shops and stockists?
It must have been shops and stockists, because there isn't actually an order form in here, but there was on eBay an order booklet. So then, I think this has gone to the shops. I'd love. I mean, England is in here, I think. Yeah, England's in here as well. So, yeah, it must have gone straight to the stockists.
Yeah, so that'd be limited numbers. So that's even a nicer piece to get.
Yeah, quite lucky on eBay, really. I mean, it cost a lot, but I was quite lucky on eBay.
Sometimes, we've all chatted that if it's something you really want, I think sometimes we've all missed out on the odd item because you think, I don't want to go that much. But if you haven't seen it for a year or two, if it comes up, just pay that extra tenner, because you'll be, like you say, you'll be gutted if you didn't get it.
Absolutely, and that's just got to do it. just got to bite the bullet sometimes. They are getting rarer. Some of the things are harder.
Yeah.
So you do just need to get it, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
Really.
a lot
But
of it.
that's that. And the last thing. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, and a lot of the things that we're now looking to get are to complete our collection. So you're not going to be looking for the easiest thing to get. We're always be now looking, if you want to complete it, if it's the final piece, it's going to be that rare one. So it's always going to cost you a bit more. So you might as well just go a little bit, if you have to, just go over the odds and get it.
And I've made my peace with that. I think I know what I need to get for certain things. And it's just going to be, it's going to cost you, it's going to probably cost you hundreds, and you're just going to have to do it. Because it's a collection. And so I won't hesitate if I see what I need anymore. I'll just go for it, I think.
And as long as you've got a separate bank account that the wife can't see, who cares?
I portray it as an investment. So that's how I portray it. This is all an investment. She doesn't quite see it that way, but it is definitely an investment.
Cool. And was there anything else then as well?
Just the last thing is I've decided to get I've got a Kimball as well for a £5. That's unbelievable. Nice little figure. And the last one is I've Scottish figures decided that actually they weren't as naff as I thought they were. They are actually good figures. So I've not got them all here, but I've just picked up about an hour ago the Celtic 12 pack from In Post. So I'm glad to have gotten that. Quite good actually. 35 on Vinted. So can't go wrong with that. Yeah, not bad at all. Picked up a glass from, I think it was Stuart actually, recently. I can't remember what Oxford. Picked up that. And some of the Rangers ones, like Jury, is a great figure. Not always easy to get hold of. No. So, not far from finishing the Scottish figures now.
Oh, and I've got one here for you, I think, and I've put one to one side, so that'll be bringing its way to you at some point.
You have a Mr. Robertson, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. So that will help you complete your collection. But yeah, I mean, those things, mate, all brilliant. Like I said, the Scottish range is a nice range. I think when I got into just collecting the Premier League ones, I had a few Scottish ones, and I was like, oh, do I do that or do I not? Because then I was thinking of the Italians. Then I remember getting a load of the Portuguese ones. But it's just never ending, and I kept coming across stumbling blocks where I just couldn't find anybody that's willing to sell them. That's why I let a lot of mine go and just said to myself, let's just concentrate on getting the Premier League ones that I want to get and don't worry about any others sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's where I went wrong when I started collecting again. I just bought everything, and they didn't have any purpose or focus, and it was a bit silly really. I'd have platinums of figures that weren't really worth anything, but in my head it was a platinum. So I've definitely learnt from that, and I've definitely learnt that I had all the England figures, not in platinum, but I had all the England figures, and I decided just to keep the Euro 96, World Cup 98 ones, because they're the ones that mean something to me. So I'd rather, again, it's okay to have that moment, I think, where you go, you love your figures, and you're looking and going, do you know what? They don't really fit into my collection anymore. I don't really have any love for them. And that's okay as well, because it's not about how much you have, it's the bits you have that have that meaning. So that's how I see it now with the collection.
100%. Like, do you know what? We'll come on. We'll actually talk about your collection a bit more later on, and we'll come on to that a bit more because that is very true. And I think a lot of people do realise that, whatever they collect, they do realise after a while. There's only so much room you can have. Like, we'd love to have everything. You'd love to be a completionist, but there's only so much room you've got, so you can't always do it. But we'll definitely come back onto that when we talk about your collection actually today. So, what have I got? Oh, I haven't got anything Corinthian because, like you, I've pretty much got everything I want. I don't think. I've got a few. Have I got any? No, I don't. Because I think I was going to do the Brazilian ones, and I said no to that. I was going to do the German ones, but again, it was so hard to get them. I said, you know what? I'll let someone else have them that wants to have them. So at the minute, I'm I set myself a weird target of getting Italian 90 figures because I'm going deep Italian 90. Yeah. So there's about 4 or 5 that were produced in Italian 90 figures. Then I'll luckily be able to repaint the rest myself. So I'm just getting figures that will fit in with that mould. But I haven't bought any recently. But what I have got, talking of Italian 90. And now that I have finally been introduced, can't even say it, introduced to Vinted, which, do you know what, tonight, let's talk about, actually, because it's making me think, we've been talking about eBay and Vinted, we'll talk about where you can get this stuff, right? But yeah, so I'm new to Vinted, and I've got myself an Italian 90 pin badge, which I love,
Oh wow,
The colours on that mascot
that
that
is
they had for Italian.
brilliant.
So I've got that one there, which I'm going to proudly wear when we have the next convention if we have one. But then I've got this Budweiser Italian 90 special pin badge as well. Where is it? There.
Oh my god,
So I've got that one there.
these
So
are like 35 years old. This is incredible.
exactly, mate. And then I've managed to get myself a few stickers from Italian 90, a German bundle of Italian 90 stickers. Where is they? There you go.
Oh, look at that.
With the
You know
little
what?
symbol.
I've been looking at stickers thinking, I've started, and I've been starting, and that's it. That's as far as I've gone. It's gone for an
Yeah.
inquisitive, but I'm considering it.
It can get dangerous, can't it?
Oh, massively. Yeah.
But I'm not
Really
gonna-
dangerous.
I'm not going to get them all. I'm going to get. I want to get at least one sticker from each team. That's my first goal. And as we were just saying then about not always worry about being a completionist. I'm not going to worry about getting every single sticker. I'm just going to get the ones I like. One from each team for definite. Might try and get some of the club crests, or sorry, the country crests, things like that. But I'm not going to go any further because otherwise it will be a massive rabbit hole. But yeah, but that's
really
what I've
will,
got. So I think that's a good start. We've got some good stuff in the last couple of weeks. But I think let's get straight into, as we were just talking about it then. I mean, you might have people watching this that are new to the collection. You might have people that have been here a while. People that are just getting back into it. And they might be interested to know where are the sorts of places you can still get Corinthians. So, I'll let you start off, because I'm going to get a pen here. I'm going to write a little list while we're talking.
Yeah.
Give me some places then. Where do you get your figures from?
So I suppose rather than just go to eBay, which everyone knows,
The obvious.
eBay. Like you, I've been picking up a few bits from Vinted, and Vinted is hit and miss. And I think again, there are some positives on it. Vinted is a bit. It's a strange one, Vinted. You can pick up some really good stuff on it, but you really need to know where to look. And you've got to be patient with it because it's not as good as eBay in terms of its search function and stuff like that. But Vinted is definitely rivaling eBay now in terms of things I've noticed. In the past, I did get a few bits from Gumtree and Spock. If you remember Spock,
I forgot all
ages
about
ago,
Gumtree and Spock,
I think it was. Yeah, I mean, every now and again I'll search them, but they're not really being used because Vinted has usurped them, really. Vinted has come in and just gone, yeah, thanks for everything you've done, but I'm going to take over from here. But you did have Gumtree and Spock a while ago. Etsy, every now and again, had a few on there. I think I picked up a couple from Etsy in the past.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I've been trying recently, but there's nothing really on there.
Let me stop you there for a second. Because I think the thing with those is, because I've forgotten all about them, you're still going to have people that don't really know much about eBay and Vinted. So if you are keeping on top of them ones, it might take you ages to get a good lot come in. But somebody, that might be their first thought, mightn't it? So if you are keeping an eye on it, you could be the one person that comes away with a gold mine.
Quite possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
If people want to have a look, look around, that could well be worth a place for looking. But sorry, you carry on, because these are good ones. I forgot all about these.
Yeah. They also... there's one that I had recently, which was I've started looking at Whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's a new sort of auction type thing. I've not quite got my head around it yet, but it seems to be lots of different sellers that do that. I think that then sell things, and sometimes you might find a Corinthian on there, sometimes not. Again, though, it's sort of becoming more popular. Whether it becomes as popular in Vinted as eBay, I don't know, but there's there as well. If people can work out how to do it, then there's there too. I think it's an auction site, but lots of different auctions from lots of different people.
From what I've seen and heard in the past, when me and my son were collecting these DC collector cards, we've never collected Pokemon, I think we both like DC, so we thought we'd get these cards. A lot of the guys we were chatting to were saying, go on Whatnot, and you can watch these live streams where they do live pulls, and you can get involved, and you can buy like a space for almost like basically if five you're in this auction-like thing, and then you get given a number, and if your card comes out with that number on, you keep that card. If it comes out of a 2, the other guy keeps that card. If it comes out of a 3, the other guy so it's that sort of thing, and it was fun, but it was a bit more. I suppose it's like when we tried doing live sales on our group. It's that sort of thing, isn't it? And it is for some people and it isn't for some people. So it's a bit hit and miss, but it was, I suppose, a new way to do a nice, fun bit of selling with a bit of engagement, getting people to watch along and join in.
Yeah, I think so. It's an interesting one, whatnot. I've not got my head around it yet, but you never know. It could
but
be.
mate, going back to the vintage one, so like eBay's been around. I mean, I must have set my eBay account up in like 2002 or something like that.
God,
so that's been around a long time. So I think everyone, like you said at the beginning, everyone knows that one. But vintage, I'm new to, and I've been on it now for about a month. And I didn't want to go on it, but I started going on it mainly for shirts, not Corinthians. But now, in my top 3 or 4 searches, it's shirts, Corinthians, Italian 90, and like you say, it's a little bit different how it sets it up, and you can miss things, but you do get some good stuff on there as well, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, again, it just depends on when you go on and what you find, really. It's like anything in life, really, isn't it? You sometimes get that bargain, you spot it and you go, Jesus Christ, I've actually got what I wanted. And sometimes you don't. But yeah, it is generally that. And toy fairs, I was going to say as well, but that was, I forgot to do that. Toy fairs are always a good little thing, just in case. You never know, you might just find some in the wild. But vintage is definitely rivaling eBay massively. I think
they probably got onto a good thing when eBay started doing their fees and then not releasing the money until the parcel arrived. People just started thinking, do you know what? If you go onto vintage, it just seems to flow a lot quicker and easier. I don't think it's got as much protection yet, because I think I've heard you talk about some of the parcels that arrive. Some of the sellers don't understand that the blister is just as important as the actual figure inside it. In their heads, they probably think, oh, he's only paying for the figure, so as long as it's in this blister, it doesn't matter if I put it in a little bit of tissue paper, it'll be fine getting there.
And that's the frustration is, I feel awkward saying to someone, oh, I'm sorry, could you make sure you package this well? Because I think I'm being insulting when I'm doing it. And that is the only... I mean, look, today it was a great delivery in terms of the figures there, and it was actually reasonably packaged in terms of how it was done. But there are horror stories on Vinted of people sending things in like crisp packets and cereal boxes and stuff like that without any protection at all. So... I mean, I've had I'll make no specific references, but I had a delivery a while ago of figures that was wrapped in dog wrapping paper without any bubble wrap whatsoever. And it included a really rare figure in it. So, it was a bit of a nightmare, really. So that's the one downside with Vinted. That's the one downside. But it's definitely easier to buy and sell on Vinted than it is eBay in terms of... it flows a bit quicker. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I do think eBay have realised that they've lost a few people. And I put something on to sale for my son today. I think they're trying to make it easier to try and get a few people back. I mean, it might be too late because a lot of people might have now set up on Vinted and be happy. We know Dave Rule, and Dave Rule, who is a big seller, and he's kind of said to us in the past, that eBay have just made it so hard for someone to try and go on there and sell. But you can understand why they're getting miffed and trying to look for other avenues. But it's still, like you say, that and Vinted are probably the two best places to look for your first fix in it, really.
I think so. They're your safe bets. They're the ones that you're going to find some bargains on there. So that's what I'd go with first, yeah.
But also, I suppose, outside of that, you have got Facebook. You've got Marketplace, which is a good place to start. But then you've also got... our group, the Corinthian Collectors Club, that is a brilliant, safe space to buy figures because we monitor it. We do our best to try and make sure everyone knows each other and that sales go well. And if sales don't go well, we hopefully get feedback from people. So we just try and make it as safe as we can. It's never going to be, you can never make it 100% foolproof. But we've had hardly any issues, have we, in the last, like, say, 4 or 5 years we've been running that group?
Not at all. I think we're open from the start, and it did, maybe it did come across a bit almost dictatorial, but that wasn't the intention. It was just, no, we're going to set the rules out here. It's clear. No, there's no what's the word for it, wiggle room. And I think that's why people are happy to buy and sell, because they know that what the rules are pretty clear. I even saw one post recently, it's a great post, where one of the sellers put, "If you DM me, it will be ignored." And I just thought, brilliant. I like that.
He's on board. He is fully on board.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, you've also
Absolutely
got
brilliant.
right, and I apologise if Craig Robinson's watching this. You changed your name of your group, and I still can never remember it. So
Collector Star Figures, isn't it? It's Collector Star Corinthian Star.
I want to make sure I get it right. But basically, that's another excellent Corinthian group. It's been around longer than ours. Yeah, Corinthian Stars Figure Collectors. So that's another group, and that's got like 4,500 members in. So that's another good place to buy and sell figures. Craig runs that group very well.
Absolutely.
Through Facebook, we just mentioned Dave Rule a minute ago. You've got Dave Rule, who's also got a shop called Paragon Toys, so that's on eBay.
Yeah.
He sells in our group. He sells, I think, what you said, at toy fairs. He's probably like one of, if not the best, or one of the best, because what he sends out, like basically the condition you see it in is mint. It's like if you're getting it off him, you'll know you're going to get a good product. So you've got Dave Rawls, a good seller mainly on Facebook. You've got a guy called Frank. I don't know if he wants us to give his full name, so I won't in a minute. But Frank is an excellent seller. He has fantastic items. You've got Craig Jackson of CorinthianFigures.com, I think it is, isn't it?
Yes, CorinthianFigures.com, again, very, very good, having bought a few times from him. And also an excellent repainter as well, like yourself.
Excellent repainter. He does 3D models. So like you say, you can get all sorts off of him. Then you've got the likes of, say, Blaine, who's a little bit, not as much of a seller, say, as a Dave, but he still has a hell of a lot of good figures out there. If you come onto Facebook and join our group, the Corinthian Collectors Club, or Craig's group, then you're going to have plenty of options if you come onto Facebook to buy figures. I mean, there was a lot on X for a while, and because when I was on there, I did notice like the likes of Patrick Short and a few others were on there selling quite a few. But I came off X about 2 years ago because it was just too many social medias to try and keep on top of. It was a nightmare, so I just went down the Facebook route and left it at that.
I've deleted mine as well. I can't keep up with X. I don't know what's going on with it, so I just bye. See you later.
Too much, isn't it? I'm on there to sell figures. I don't want to know about today's politics.
Well, it's exactly it. I mean, it's funny you say that about bargains. I've literally just picked something up from Vinted.
Have you?
And it's if you remember the Ronaldo figure that was never actually released for Inter because they scrapped the second wave of figures, but they released it in the World Series, which was the precursor to Pro Stars. It's like a bundle of 4 figures, of which that's one of them, along with a Poborski and a Brian Dean. And I think for a £5, you can't really go wrong with that. So that shows you Vinted is a great place to pick up these sorts of unexpected bargains.
I think a lot of people just don't know what they've got, because from doing the convention, we had a massive influx of people joining our group because they were just like, oh, I didn't realise this was still a thing. I've just been up in my loft, like, what are these worth? And some people, rather than asking us, were going straight on to Vinted and put them on there. And like you said, they ain't got a clue what they're worth. And some of the stuff is worth good money. So it's worth going on your eBay and your Vinted quite a lot, typing in Corinthians. Oh, I mean, the other thing, which I learned, type in spelling mistakes too. If some people spell it wrong. I think someone this week, Patrick Short, picked up 5 good figures because the person put Corinthians with 2 R's. So just little examples like that, you can go on and find some good bargains. I think the only one I've just written down as well is you can still get them in some shops. And when I say some shops, there's one that was called In Off the Post in Bournemouth.
Yes.
And someone put it in our group about 2 years ago, and it looked amazing walking into a shop and they still had them on the pegs, on the wall. It just reminded you of being back in the 90s, didn't it?
Oh, God, it was beautiful. If I ever get down to Bournemouth, In fact, it sounds like my wife and I are going to be going on a trip down to Bournemouth soon because I'm
The next
going to be
holiday.
going there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I do believe they've got like shirts there. They've got
Hmm.
signed shirts. They've got photographs. They've got posters. They've got everything else there. Sabutio, I think, was down there. So it's a big shop, but they have dedicated a whole big side of the wall to Corinthians and soccer style. So it's quite nice. As some places do. And I tell you what, if anyone's watching this and they know of any other places, stick it in the comments. Let us know what shops around the
Yeah.
country still stock figures, so that, like you've just said, we could almost do a little recce around the UK and have a night out somewhere or a weekend away and go visit some of these shops.
Absolutely. Please do. It'd be great to see if they're still doing it. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah. So I think that's pretty much covered them all where you can get the figures from in it. I don't think there's many other places.
Oh well, I suppose
Car
again,
boots.
like, I was just about to say that. On the odd car boot, you will generally see. You're generally seeing now that more people are bringing the figures there, and I think you might get an exceptional bargain. Generally, you'll see some decent ones, but they're all worth picking up. I've picked up a couple of the bootleg figures before, the ones
Yeah.
that are Corinthian but not Corinthian, and
Yeah.
picked them up from a car boot. So they're
Nice.
definitely worth going to if anywhere in your area.
Yeah, if you've got a big one or a good one that's near your area, definitely worth going down to. I mean, I took a load to a car boot sale. Didn't have much luck selling them, but I had at least 10 people come up to me. Oh, wow, I remember them. I used to collect them. I loved them. So, like, we had a long conversation, and I was thinking at the end of it, please buy something, but no, they weren't
Yeah.
having any of it. But yeah, I think we have covered near enough everywhere where you can buy them. So yeah, that's good. That is where to buy. Right, so now let's move on to, as I can see, you've got a lovely shirt on. Let's quickly talk about your and my shirt before we move on to your collection. So what's your shirt you're wearing tonight then?
So, a bit left field. I did a year abroad in Spain in my third year at uni, and this is Real Valladolid in Spain. I think they're in Liga Two now. I don't think they're in the Primera Liga, but
Right.
a place that's still very close to my heart and vinted, £10, and I thought
Wow.
not even no brainer. So picked it up, and it's one of my favourite shirts.
Mate, that's a nice top, isn't it, as well?
It's beautiful, especially the Adidas. It's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what, the Adidas ones are nice. I mean, that's what I've got on tonight is an Adidas one. And this
Yeah.
was this one. Me and my boy went on holiday to Bulgaria this year, and we went into a couple of the fake shops. And he really wanted a footy shirt, so I bought him one. And I thought, like you just said, when it's cheap, you don't mind. But when I was in there, I was like, right, you pick one for me. Pick whatever you want. And I believe, I need to do a bit of research into this. I think it's a fan made, or a fan one, basically. Like a terrace one almost. So it's not an official one that they'd wear on the pitch. But when I Googled, like, 'cause I tried finding out what year it was once I bought it, and I can't remember. But I stumbled across so many different Japan tops where they have got, I think, like we were talking about, like Pokemon on there. You've probably got Dragon Ball Z and all sorts they do as well. So
Yeah.
and I think a lot of them are just for the fans. So like the fans have different shirts to wear. But yeah, I really like this one. It's got like all anime on it, and that's Adidas as well.
Nice. It's a beautiful shirt.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try after. I think I've got a few Man U ones left to wear in the coming weeks in our first 10 episodes, but I might have to get on Vinted and buy a few more.
Do you know what? I can't believe it. On Vinted the other day, and I wish I bought it in my size. A Nigeria shirt from the 2014 World Cup, £3.
What?
Yeah, someone's picked it up. I'm so annoyed at myself. It was a beautiful classic. Nothing, no bells and whistles. Cup of two-tone green, £3. And I said to myself, "Now I'm going to pass on that." What an idiot! What an idiot!
Mate, honestly, some of these shirts, like I bought I think you were in the episode where I wore my black and gold
Yeah.
Ajax one, the 50-year anniversary.
Beautiful shirt,
I
that is,
wore
yeah.
it at the weekend, and the wife hasn't seen it. She saw it. She goes, "Oh, what's that? That's a nice one." I say, "Oh, it's Ajax." Oh, do you reckon they do more in blacks? Like even she's now interested in getting a black shirt. So I said, I'll keep an eye out and try and get some black shirts that she can wear as well.
Oh my wife! I'd love to get her into football shirts, but she's
Yeah, then
It's a-
no,
it's
it's
a
not
challenge.
normally a thing, but like I said, a lot of teams now are bringing out black fur kits or black and gold
yeah.
or black and yellow, and it does look quite nice. But talking of our partners and their love for our collections, let's let's delve for 10, 20 minutes into your collection then, because we were talking about earlier how I think a lot of us have had a realization with our collection that you just cannot collect it all. I mean, you can try. Someone like Craig, someone like Leonard, and people like that, they pretty much have got every single figure, and they have dedicated a hell of a lot of time to doing it. It's probably taken them 30 years to do that, and it's an extremely impressive collection. But for the majority of us, that would be very hard to do. Like, I'm just looking around mine now. I've got all the Man U ones, and that's probably the biggest single team that they made with that amount of figures. Because it's probably Man U, then maybe England. This is just me spitballing here. I reckon those are the two biggest produced teams. So to get just those sort of teams is hard enough. So if you want to get the whole lot, you're talking like tens of thousands of pounds. So a lot of us have realised that, and a lot of us have started saying, do you know what? Let's not just be a completionist, and like you alluded again to earlier, let's get something that means something to me. So a lot of people are saying, let's get Euro 96, or in my case, let's get a load of Italian 90 ones. So then with your collection, so where are you now with yours? What avenue have you decided to go down, and like what are you still looking to pick up?
So I still have that one elusive goalkeeper that everyone's looking for, who will remain nameless, but we all know who he is.
Yeah.
And one day a box of them will be open and it will become a common figure. I'm absolutely convinced of it.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely convinced of it. I'm pleased that I've got all the managers and all the redemptions, so I'm pleased that that's finished. I feel that was a real sort of accomplishment, and to have them all is I'm really pleased about that. I've sort of got, like I said, the SFL ones I'm not far from finishing, but as always, you're looking at the more expensive ones to get. So it's just, again, when you find them, just go for it and pay that extra money to get it. I think at the moment, I'm always on the lookout for sachets. I was just looking around at sachets there. And I'd love to get a box. I'd like to get one of the original boxes of the England sachets. That would just be like a dream for me to get that. So there's that. I'm always on the lookout for them as well. Yeah. The actual box, the CDU. The foreign ones as well. I am selective. I've got... the Portugal will be completed one day. It's not, but it will be because they're so expensive to get. And one day I will just get them all. I did take the bullet on the Norway and the Denmark ones and just did it because they were expensive, the ones I needed. So I think I'd like to finish the foreign teams. That's what I'd really like to do that at some point. I think that'd be a big thing for me. I'm trying to think really.
Have you kind of like with me? I recently have started getting rid of a load of the platinums. Not because I don't like platinums, because I've always said the platinums should be the rarest figure because they brought them out in such low numbers. But it's a fact I just cannot display that many blisters. Like I've started putting a few on the wall behind me, and a few more will be going up in those spaces. But have you found yourself like going away from the blisters, like only getting the ones like we're talking you really want, and then the other figures you're talking about, like say the Scottish ones, you're trying to get them loose?
Yeah, I think I've sold all my England Platinums off for that very reason. They were on the wall. I wasn't really enjoying them, and I just wanted them gone really because it was taking up display space elsewhere. The Ballon d'Ors were absolutely loved the Ballon d'Ors in every way, shape, and form. I adore them, but again, just I didn't have the need for them anymore. The Ballon d'Ors were no longer needed for me, so they. Again, I'm sending them off to good homes because it's that storage thing. I could have opened them and displayed them, and I could have done that. But part of me was I don't really need them. So I've still got my Tottenham on the wall. The Tottenham Platinums, they're still there, and all the headliner managers, which I'm really pleased to have all them in blister. I've got them on the wall as well, and I don't envisage myself taking them off. I think they'll stay there. But I am mainly getting loose. I've always been a bit of a loose collector. So I tend to rip out the Petr Cech with the headgear from the packet, even though Dave told me not to. I did it anyway. I ripped it out. Because I want to display them. So,
Mate, that's the thing, innit? That's what I was looking at all these amazing figures I've got, but they're just in a box, literally in that dark hole there. There's about 4 or 5 boxes, and there were. But when I had all my platinums, there was about 10 boxes, and I'm just thinking they're not you're not appreciating them. They're just sat there doing nothing. So I kind of whittled them down. I've even whittled down the blisters as well now. I've got all the headliner ones still because there's a little bit. I just love the headliners. They were the originals. I'm tempted to keep every single one of the Man United headliners, but I would like to at some point. I'm looking around now, just put them all up somewhere on a wall, but I just don't know where I'd do it because I've got stuff on every wall. I've got no space at the moment.
And that's the thing. I've still got a tiny bit of space to put blisters up, but I decided to buy those bookcases that I think I showed the group before.
Yes.
The Billy bookcases from Facebook Marketplace. Pick them up for like tenner each, and
Yeah.
I've now been able to display far more of a range of things than just having blisters up. So that's where I am with my collection. I think I'm mainly loose figures, but obviously if something comes up in a blister, like I've got the Dominguez, which I know is going to come out of the Portugal blister, but it's so beautifully tucked in that blister, I don't want to take it out at the moment.
Yeah.
But I know it will have to come out eventually.
It'd be nice to find someone that wants a swap, that somebody would do a swap for a lesser blister, and then you're going to be taking it out, and they can have the good one, like give you a little bit of money sort of thing, because they'll be getting a lovely blister, and you can have the one that you want to pull out. That's what I was trying to look at. So with your collection then, have you got like how can I put it? Almost like an interesting story, or have you got like a certain figure that there's a story linked to how you got it, a memorable story or anything like that?
Oh God, you know what? I think it's my eyes are drawn to the Shearer and the Seaman from the football that Corinthian made. My eyes are drawn to that as I'm thinking that now, and for me, that was always a strange one because I remember seeing the ball in Jennings' toy shop in Enfield, no longer there unfortunately, and going past it all the time. And around about 97, I think it was, I got it for Christmas and said to my mum and dad, I've got enough money, I'm going to buy it. And they just said, no, you don't need a ball. I said, I'm not buying it for the ball's crap. I want the figures. It's the figures I want. No, you're not paying £15 for two figures. And I remember being really angry. Oh, something like that. 10, 15, something like that. And I was just so annoyed at the time. And then I just remember at Christmas, completely out of nowhere, because it wasn't there, because I'd been checking. I hadn't even asked for it for Christmas, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then it was Christmas 97. And I remember there being this sort of, this box shape there. And I don't remember seeing that there before. And I sort of shook it a little bit. And then I got really excited. I just ripped the paper off. And it was exactly that. It was the Seaman and Shearer figures in that box with the crap ball, rubbish ball with the signatures on it. And I think I just ripped the whole thing apart, took the figures out. That's one of my really great memories. Is that being completely blindsided by getting that. I think that's certainly for those two figures. The other one I remember is I'm looking straight at them now as I do it, is the Fabien Barthez and Bernard Lamar. Again, around about not too distant future after that, 98 in the south of France. And my dad saying, there's no football figures in France, you won't find any. And we said, no, we're ye of little faith. And as it turned out they had the blister of Barthez, the blister of Lamar, they had the 12-pack with Henri in it. Little did we know at the time. And I picked up the two blisters of Barthez and Lamar because that was the first time that I'd ever seen foreign football figures. I'd never seen them before, never heard of them. Of course, yes, there was internet, but there wasn't internet. We are pre-internet, aren't we? Pre-social media. And I saw it, and and I didn't have enough money to buy all the ones I wanted, so I just picked the goalkeepers at the time. But that was my first taste of foreign figures, and didn't realise there were more until much, much later in collecting. It was quite something. And I remember it was just a really happy day as well because I'd seen Corinthians. It was brilliant. So
I can't
those are my two
that,
main stories there.
Yeah, mate, I can't imagine that. Like, going on holiday and stumbling across Corinthians would be amazing, wouldn't it? Because it'd be you always want to bring something back from when you go on holiday. Normally, like a stick of rock or a postcard. If you could come back with something you actually want like a Corinthian, would have been amazing.
Amazing. It was.
I told my story that I got into it later. I got into about 99, 2000 just from going down my friend's house playing Pro Evolution, and he had all his Liverpool ones on display, and I'm like, wow, what are they? And he told me what they were, so then I got into it just as it had turned to Pro Stars. And I would go then around, I think my sister was in Stoke-on-Trent for a while when she was at uni, at Keele Uni, so I used to go up to Stoke and look around those shops. Then when she went to London a couple of years later. I go visit her in London. I've probably seen Dave back then, but I can't remember. But
Probably, yeah.
I'd go around good shops in London. When I said to my mum about it, about 4 years ago when I said I was getting back into Corinthians, she said to me, "Oh, do you remember that time you sent me up to London to go see your sister and you gave me a bag?" And I was like, "Oh, did I? Yeah, you told me I had to go to this shop. You've already paid matey by a cheque, so I sent the cheque for the post, and my mum had to go in there with like a duffel bag, like she's about to rob the place, open it up, and matey piled all these like 4-packs in there from like Inter Milan and Juventus and that, and." I would have had an amazing collection, but I can't remember what I did with all of them, all those figures back then. But yeah, it was great times going travelling around looking and picking them up.
Another great idea for an episode is lost shops where we used to get them from.
Yes.
Lost shops.
I'm going to write that down because mine was free. Mine was Free Kicks in Torquay. That was the only one other than your Toy Master. We had a Toy Master which obviously had them in, but all they had was like the Pro Stars range. But you go down to this Free Kicks and they had again shirts and stickers and like the little sucky window things, like the shirts that you'd put in your car, if you know what I'm on about, with the little suction pads on, so you put them in your car. There'd all that tat in there, but then he had a corner full of Corinthians. And I always say that's the first memory I have of walking out with Corinthians, was walking out with Bobby Moore, George Best and Beckenbauer XLs under my arm. Me and my mate, the one with the Liverpool fan, we got a bus down to Torquay, picked a load of them up, come home. That's some of the first ones I put on display, and that shop was amazing back then. But that is a great idea for an episode to talk about shops that we used to buy them from. And like I say, not the regular ones, not your Toy Masters and your what's the other ones that everyone was talks about. What was your bigger one?
So our biggest ones were BTs.
Yes, BTs,
we had a BTs. Toy Stack. I'm just trying to think myself. Toy Master. Obviously, like we have a Pearson's in Enfield. There's not many. There's hardly any of them around the country, and they had a massive wall of Corinthians back in the day. So that's. But my two ones that I used to, off the beaten track were Jennings and Enfield, which was actually quite popular amongst some of the resellers, and Soccer Scene in Carnaby Street. That's where they would sell loads of them, absolutely loads of them. And it's just all these lost places, so it'd be great to do that. I think
that's why I like that one I was talking about earlier in Off the Post in Bournemouth. It'd be great for more places like that to pop up again. But you just know, I mean, we're part of the problem in a sense that we do buy off eBay and Vinted a lot, but I suppose it's just so hard to get to some of these places because they're so few and far between now. If I wanted to make a trip up to Bournemouth, it's gonna, I've got to plan a full day to do it, try and get a day off work, and he's probably not got anything I want, but it'll just be the nostalgia of going in there and being able to see everything on display. But it would be lovely to get a few more of them because I know, like when I chat to the toy lads from the Toys Team group, a couple of them do like video blogs where they go around the country and they visit all these back of the room shop sort of things where you would never even imagine there was a toy shop. And you go in there and it's like an Aladdin's cave and it just looks amazing. And there's probably are a lot. So I said it earlier, if any of you know of any of these ones, any of these places that are still going, put in the comments of our videos, let us know. And when we do, we'll definitely come back and revisit that. We'll talk about it more, about these shops. We can almost try and get a map of the UK and put little pins where these shops are. Because then if we're ever away, even if we're watching like football, watching an away game, and we know there's a shop nearby, we can pop down there and go and have a look, can we?
That'd be amazing. That'd be incredible. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully there'll be one near where we did last year's convention. Because if we do another convention, we go back there. It'd be nice to know if there is any in Essex.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, there's got to be some tucked away, like you said, somewhere. There's got to be there where they've got a few little things, and it is that nostalgia. But yes, I mean, I know you keep saying if a convention, it's got to be when, hasn't it? It's got to be when. We've got to do it again, haven't we?
It's an 85% when, 100%. It's just we've got to talk about venue, we've got to talk about what we do different. But it is, everyone enjoyed it so much last year that it would be silly not to do it again. I think we've got at the minute. When we're filming this, the charity auction hasn't happened. When this comes out, it might have happened. But at the minute, we're busy sorting out the charity auction. So once that's all done, we will go full steam ahead on looking at if we're going to do another convention next year and what we can do to improve it. Because, to be honest, it was so flipping good. I can't imagine what we could do any better, apart from maybe get a couple of stars like David Seaman and David Beckham there.
Of course. Just a couple of small people. Nothing.
Small fish. Yeah. They won't mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing a few signatures, but yeah, it would definitely be great to get another one going. Right. Well, I think we have covered very well there where you can buy Corinthians if you're getting back into it, if you're into it but you didn't realise some of these places existed, because I completely forgot about Gumtree and places like that. Or if you're just revisiting it and you want to have a look around, go back, have another listen, and it will visit all those places we talked about. Type in your words Corinthians and you'll probably find a plethora of figures that you can go and buy. We've learned a bit more about Dan's collection. And I suppose if you want to let the people know the figures you're after, we can always do some wanted posters, can't we? To let them know the last few Scottish ones you're after. And me and you have both done a start, sign, scout, sell, haven't we? So there's no point in us going over that. There's no point in going over that again. Because who did you pick again? Your start was Ince.
Oh. Yeah, Ince was my start.
This is your first figure. Your
first one.
Sign was a sachet. Everybody needs a sachet.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Your scout, you always wanted someone Stefan Freund in a Spurs kit.
Yeah.
And then your sell was that body pose. Anybody in that stupid.
Oh, the stupid Pallister pose. Yeah. Oh God, I hated that.
Sheringham, that's the one you brought up. Sheringham,
the Sheringham pose.
Yeah. Ball, all those
it.
people. Yeah, in that one, Razor Ruddock.
Yeah.
So that was yours. Mine. What was mine? Mine was Beckham Chaser for start because he's always been my favourite. Sign was the Cant. Everyone needs to have a Cantona the collar up headliner.
Yeah.
Scout was basically any Real Madrid figure because all of us wanted Real Madrid back in the 90s when Corinthians were at their peak. And then my sell was the Danny Murphy in that stupid pose with no football for Liverpool. Get rid of it. But if any of you guys watching want to throw one out there, we'll be happy to talk about your picks on one of our episodes. And if you want to come on and be a guest, you can come on and tell us it.
Please do.
I think Craig Robinson said he might do a video one, so we can always, if you want to film it yourself, we can get Tim to edit it in, and then we can show it off that way. But if you don't want to do a video, you can just let us know your choices, and we can discuss them.
Perfect. Sounds great. The more people get involved, the better.
Exactly. We're gonna. I think I said it earlier on. We're going to try and get 10 episodes done of the first season. See how it goes. Let you lot all watch it, and then just keep getting involved because it's always good fun. All of us have got stories to tell.
Absolutely.
Right, Dan. Been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. Great to be on again. Look forward to the next one.
We'll do. We'll try and do them every 2 or 3 weeks, I think, so we can get more and more content out to the group. But it's been a pleasure, and enjoy collecting, everybody.